Hello, friends! It's finally springtime! Congratulations, we made it all the way through winter. And what's so exciting about spring is that the birds are starting to chirp. I don't know if you can hear them around me, but they are going crazy. The flowers are starting to come out and it's starting to get a little bit warmer. With warmer weather, that means that our fairy friends are going to come and visit. Now, you might have all heard about fairy gardens before. I know that we have a fairy garden out at Camp Linden, which I'm sure a bunch of my Girl Scout friends have been to and have seen before, but I would love to take some of that magic and we can bring it on to our own backyards and our own houses. So come on, let's go find the things we need. Hello, friends. So to begin, we're going to start with our indoor fairy garden. For my friends who might not know what a fairy garden is, a fairy garden is just an area that we build to welcome fairies back after they've been gone for the long winter. So it's a little house that we can build. What's fantastic about fairy houses is we can use our own imaginations. Fairies love absolutely everything, but the thing they love the most is recycling, just like us Girl Scouts. So today I'm going to show you how to build an indoor fairy garden first, and then we'll go check out an outdoor fairy garden. So come on, I'll show you what I got. Alrighty, so the first thing we need for all fairy gardens is one pot that has lots of dirt in it. I found this pot out in my garage, so you can ask maybe one of your grown-ups if they have an extra pot. Filled it up with dirt, and I also got a flower packet seed. This flower packet seed is so that I can sprinkle it all here and I can help water the flowers so that the fairies have some wonderful flowers to come home to. I chose zinnias because they're my very favorite flower. So those are the two must-have for our indoor fairy garden. Everything else is what we can use our imagination with. So if we come over here, these are all the things that I have for my fairy garden. I used a paper cup and cut a hole out of it and painted it purple, my very favorite color, so that the fairies can come and they can walk right in there and that's where they can sleep at night. Next, I made a little sign out of cardboard that says, "Welcome fairies." I want them to know that they're all welcome in this place. Next, I have a couple bottle caps that I'm going to use, I think maybe as a walkway for my fairies, and I just painted them fun colors. Next up, I have this little heart that I thought would be fun to maybe put on top of the fairy house. We'll see what happens. Next up, I have a fence. Now, this fence isn't real. This fence is actually pieces of cardboard that I just cut into a fence shape. I'll show you how we can assemble those in a second. I also found some rocks, thought maybe the fairies would like those to sit down and rest their tired feet. And here are a couple extra things. I found a couple stickers that I had lying around to decorate the pot with. A tiny little pig. He's so cute. You can use any fun little tiny toy you might have, and the fairies would love to hang out and maybe they can ride on that pig. That would be so silly. And finally, I have this fun little necklace. I thought maybe the fairies would like this since fairies like things that are very shiny. So next up, I will show you how I'm going to assemble all of these things. All right, so now we have our assembly. So get the big pot, sprinkle your flower seeds all in the pot. Perfect, there they go. Yay! All right, and then we're gonna make sure that we cover those in dirt. So the key to this will also be, make sure that the area that you have your flowers isn't where your house is gonna be, because you're gonna have to water those flowers. All right, so let's take our hut. Boom, we'll put our hut right there. Maybe a little walkway out of bottle caps. Perfect. Our sign so that the fairies know where to come home to. Welcome, fairies. And we'll do our little makeshift fence. So this is just the cardboard that was cut out, and I thought it'd be fun if we just stuck it all just like that to make the fairies a backyard. Now remember, friends, your fairy house can look totally different, and that's what's so fun, is that the fairies will have tons of different houses to come home to. Next up, we have our fun little toy here. Maybe I'll put him right here so that all the fairies can see and he's greeting them. Now remember, I didn't put them where the flowers are going to be because those flowers will need water. I can put a little heart on top so that the fairies know to go there, and a couple rocks so that they can sit down after their long, long journey. Perfect. If you remember, we also had some stickers. Perfect. And I can put those on the outside of the pot and our fun necklace. So fairies love shiny things. So maybe I'll put this right on top of their house. Whoa! It kind of looks like Christmas lights. Perfect. So now that we have our fairy house, we need to find a good place for this fairy house to sit in the sun. We found the perfect place. So we found this way up high place that none of the animals can get to. It has a silly llama as the background. I thought maybe the fairies would like to see that. So here's our fairy garden where it lives now. What's great about this place is that none of the animals can get to it, but it also gets sunlight, and that's very important for the flowers. So come on, let's go show an outside fairy garden. Welcome to the outdoors. So a key difference of making an outside fairy garden versus an inside fairy garden is our inside fairy garden, we could use a lot of plastic things. So we recycled those bottle caps, we used some toys in there, we even used some shiny necklaces, and that was so much fun. But the only thing now is that we're outside, so we probably can't use all of those things. So what could we use? Well, we can find sticks outside. That would make a great fairy house. We can find some rocks, maybe some flowers. There are so many options we can use outside. The key thing to think about when you're making an outside fairy garden is if a friendly squirrel or a nice bunny were to come by, could they take one of my items and bring it back to their house? So they can take anything that's natural. So let's find some natural things and where we can put our fairy house. Oh, it looks like my puppy wanted to help find some natural things too. So a stick is a great option. Phew, so after lots of foraging, we found a great place and lots of items to use. So I decided to use this spot right here. It's underneath this great big tree, so I thought it could give the fairies lots of sun when they want it and lots of shade when they don't want any sun. I also found these rocks, so I decided to make a little fire pit for my fairies. See, they've got little sticks in there, teaching them some Girl Scout safety fire tips. Next, I found these big pieces of wood in the garage. These are great because let's say a really strong squirrel or bunny came to take these, that would be totally okay. They are all natural. Next, I found this big log, so I thought maybe the fairies could use it to sit down on while we do a fire pit. And I also got them this little chair. It might just look like a rock, but it looks exciting, and I think the fairies would like that natural look. So here is what our outside fairy house might look like as well. And that's it. So that's all for our fairy houses. Today we built an indoor fairy house as well as an outdoor fairy house. And I would love to see all of the pictures of your fairy houses as well. So if you make an inside fairy house, an outside fairy house, really anywhere for fairies to come and kick up their feet, drop it below in the comments and we would love to check it out. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in, ladies, and peace out, Girl Scouts.